Hello everyone and welcome to my CSU channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Todd Chrisley reveals why he rejected prison chores and won. Since their presidential pardon, Todd and Julie Chrisley have been quite open about their time in prison. In a recent share, Todd recently opened up about prison chores. As he revealed, he and Julie had quite different experiences while behind bars. A star from Bravo's Real Housewives franchise was also there for the conversation. Todd and Julie had a special guest during a recent podcast episode. Todd, Julie, and the Chrisley family became known to audiences through the USA Network series, Chrisley Knows Best. In 2022, Todd and Julie were convicted of a variety of charges, including bank fraud and tax evasion. Todd was initially sentenced to 12 years in Pensacola's federal prison camp. Julie was sentenced to 7 years in Lexington's Federal Medical Center. However, the two would see an early release in 2025 thanks to a presidential pardon from President Donald Trump. Since then, Todd and Julie have opened up about their time in prison with various outlets, including their own podcast series. However, the two often share that they've had different experiences behind bars. This recently became a topic of discussion with friend and guest Kandi Burruss of the Real Housewives of Atlanta fame. At one point, Burruss admitted, "I just can't see you in jail," while speaking to Todd. He shared, "I ran my block." Julie then shared, "I did hard time. I adhered to the rules. Keep in mind, I was in a place where there was no air conditioning." For his part, Todd made it clear that he went there to do time, not chores. Julie noted, "I did work, he didn't." When asked why, Todd simply shared, "I refused." Julie admitted that working in prison came with some advantages. However, working did come with some perks for Julie. As she shared, she could get some homey comforts while working in the commissary. She noted, "I wanted to make sure I could order my shampoo and body wash and makeup. I mean, it wasn't MAC, but we could get the CoverGirl, the Maybelline, the Wet n Wild. You would walk down the hall, and somebody would have on fake lashes, fake hair, there was more weave in there." In a previous podcast episode, Todd also shared that he enjoyed all sorts of food while in prison. He previously shared, "I had Chick-fil-A, I had Burger King, I had pizza, I had Culver's," which, let me just go ahead and tell you, this is not an ad, but Culver's is my jam now. "I had Olive Garden once, but I didn't like it." Of course, that's not to say Todd didn't have any job while behind bars. As previously reported, Todd was said to have worked as an assistant to a prison chaplain. However, he was removed from the position back in October, prior to his presidential pardon. At the time, attorney Jay Sargent shared that Todd was upset over losing the position, with claims that he lost the job without proper cause. When Todd Chrisley walked into federal prison camp Pensacola, many expected the once lavish reality TV patriarch to be humbled, stripped of his pride, and forced into the monotonous grind of prison life. Mopping floors, scrubbing toilets, kitchen duty, or sorting laundry, those were the types of jobs awaiting him. But Todd Chrisley, the man America got to know on Chrisley Knows Best, wasn't about to fold himself into the typical mold of an inmate. Now, months into his sentence, Todd has opened up through letters, insider reports, and family statements about how he not only rejected the standard prison chores, but somehow managed to win a battle that few thought he could. His reasoning, his defiance, and the surprising outcome have fans and critics alike buzzing with curiosity. The refusal. From the moment he was assigned a job inside the camp, Todd reportedly made it clear he wouldn't be scrubbing away his dignity. Sources close to the Chrisley family reveal that Todd pushed back hard when offered janitorial duty. "Prison or not, Todd's pride is intact," one insider said. He told them flat out, "I won't be cleaning toilets. That's not what I'm here for." To some, this came across as arrogance. After all, Thousands of inmates before him had swallowed their pride, donned the work gloves, and did what was expected. But Todd wasn't just being stubborn, he saw it as a matter of principle. The reasoning. According to Todd's own words in a letter Savannah Chrisley shared snippets of on her podcast, his decision wasn't about thinking he was too good for manual labor. Instead, he painted it as a fight for his mental health, dignity, and here to break myself into a version of someone else's idea of reform, Todd reportedly wrote. Work should build, not diminish. If I'm scrubbing toilets all day, what am I learning about myself? About life after this place? I won't come out stronger. I'd come out defeated. Todd insisted he wanted to spend his time in prison focused on reading, counseling, prayer, and mentoring other inmates, things he saw as productive rather than punitive. And surprisingly, it seems he got his way. The pushback. Of course, prison officials weren't thrilled when Todd began refusing jobs. Every inmate is expected to contribute, and the refusal to do so can result in punishment, loss of privileges, solitary confinement, or even extended time behind bars. Rumors swirled that Todd was written up multiple times, that he faced disciplinary hearings, and that there were tense standoffs with guards. But Todd, who had long perfected the art of negotiation in the business world and on reality television, knew how to use his words. He argued his case the way a lawyer would, another source explained. Todd can talk circles around people, and he convinced some of the higher-ups that his time would be better spent counseling and working with inmates who are struggling. Instead of menial labor, Todd allegedly carved out a unique role for himself, something between a mentor, a mediator, and a spiritual advisor. The victory. In the end, Todd wasn't assigned to scrubbing, cooking, or washing. He was given what family insiders call light duties, but most of his day reportedly revolves around leading small prayer groups, talking to men about their struggles, and even offering advice on family relationships. He literally turned prison into another version of Chrisley Knows Best, but this time, it's inmates know best, one friend joked. And the best part? Todd says he feels like he won. This is not about avoiding hard work, he clarified in another family-shared statement. It's about doing work that matters. I'm here to change lives, including my own. I will not mop my way through a sentence. I will pray, mentor, and survive my way through it. The fan reaction. The news of Todd's win spread quickly online, sparking heated debates. Some fans applauded him, calling it a bold stand against the system. Leave it to Todd to refuse to be broken, one fan wrote on social media. He's finding purpose even in prison. Others, however, weren't as forgiving. This is privilege, plain and simple, another critic tweeted. Every other inmate has to do the work, but Todd gets to play counselor. If he were anyone else, they'd have thrown him in solitary. The backlash highlights the complicated way the public sees Todd Chrisley. To some, he's a resilient fighter clinging to dignity. To others, he's a man still trying to manipulate his way through consequences. Savannah speaks. Todd's daughter Savannah, who has become his loudest advocate since he entered prison, defended his choice on her podcast. My dad isn't lazy, Savannah insisted. He just doesn't believe in wasting time. He's using prison to become a better man, to help others, and to come back to us stronger. If people can't understand that, that's on them. She also hinted that her father's refusal of chores was part of a larger transformation. He's diving into faith like never before. He's journaling every day. He's talking to men who feel hopeless. That's more powerful than cleaning dishes. A deeper meaning. What Todd's story really reveals is the way incarceration can look completely different depending on who you are. For some, prison is about quiet compliance. For Todd, it has become a stage for reinvention. By refusing chores, he forced the system to see him differently, and in doing so, he may have reshaped his entire prison experience. Whether that's fair or not is up for debate, but one thing is certain. Todd Chrisley remains a man who refuses to be ordinary, even in captivity. What comes next? As Todd continues his sentence, insiders claim he is working on a potential book about his prison experiences. A tell-all memoir that would include his refusal to do chores as a central theme. It's not about defiance, he explained. It's about redefining what redemption looks like.